Seems like all the rage anymore is these nice USB power banks. They give you a good 5-volt supply in order to charge any of your various gadgets, cell phones, tablets. I bought this a while ago, and this is a 4,000 milliamp with apparently a 1 amp charge and discharge ability. But it gave me a little bit of trouble last time I tried to use it. It only went down about maybe 40% of its capacity, and then it just started blinking like the battery was completely dead. So it's not reaching its intended capacity, and it's kind of a big bulky thing for 4,000 milliamp hour, and it doesn't reach its capacity that it says it should be at. So I went looking around, and of course checked eBay first, and you can always find cheap electronic crap on eBay. So I went and found two different kinds of style of power banks. This one here comes as a nice little kit. Includes it's a plastic case that has the usual power bank written across the back, and it also came with a little lanyard cord and a very small micro USB cable. And then this one is an aluminum case with pretty much as a build it yourself kit. So the one piece that holds the case together, and then the two end stickers are separate that you have to put in. And I think these are the screws, and there's supposed to be a button on the front of this as well. So what you can notice about both of these is they don't have any batteries actually in them. You have to buy the cells separately. These are both designed to take your standard 18650 lithium-ion rechargeable cells. These ones I picked up on Amazon, I think, for $10 for two of them. These are Panasonic cells. Now, the reason why I decided to do this is I figured the charging circuit and the case are pretty easy to do. The batteries are the hard part to do. And the batteries are also the dangerous part. There's a lot of chemical energy in these things. Get this wrong and it explodes violently. So I decided to get high quality batteries separately rather than trying to buy the cheapest ones I could find on eBay, which you can find really cheap ones. And they also tend to exaggerate their capacities on eBay. There's no way you're going to get 4,000 milliamp capacity out of a standard 18650, but they're all over eBay. So the neat thing about these lithium-ion cells is the number is actually the dimensions. So they are 18 millimeter in diameter and 650 millimeter in length. And there's two variants of these pretty much. There's the unprotected one, which is like this, where it's just a straight lithium cell across the two contacts and that's it. Then there's also a slightly longer one that's 700 millimeters long that has an extra protected circuit inside of it. And that has a circuit in there that's designed to protect against overcharging and undercharging, and also short circuit. Lithium cells do not like being short circuited. They do not like being undercharged. If you draw all the power out of them, they won't recharge. And of course, you don't want to overcharge them either. They have a very specific charging cycle, which makes it a little bit difficult because they go through a first stage of a constant current until they hit a certain voltage, and then it's a constant voltage charge. So it has to be a smart controller that can switch between that on and off. So anyways, I bought these two kits, and I figured I'll take a look at them real briefly, put them together with these batteries I got, and then we'll see if they actually work or not. So this is the ball plastic case. It has a plastic lid that's separate, and then the circuit comes in like this with the spring. So the one thing I noticed on both of these is the soldering job is actually pretty good. They both use this 6-pin chip. It's kind of standard. Unfortunately, I cannot read the numbers on this. I think this one actually might be completely unbranded, but this is very common chip in these systems. So it's both responsible for charging the cell, doing the smart charge, not making sure it's not undercharging, and it's not overdrawing and overcharging the cell. And then also on this one, I don't think it has. On some of them, like this one, the button would also then give you a state of the charge, how much power is in the battery. So this one just uses a simple spring to go down to the negative, and then a push button contact for the positive, and then it has the micro USB for charging and a full size USB for discharging through a device. So it's an always on device. It uses a little, I think it's a buck boost regulator actually with this inductor to put 5 volts out on the output USB port, and then it's always on, always running. Yeah, but it draws minimal power in that state since it's only just enough to deal with the residual discharge in the circuit. So it can last probably a fair amount of time like that. So fitting this back into the case, let's see if I can do that. Okay. So this front metal contact sits down into a nice little channel like there. And I think, yeah, so the back of the spring then has a little channel in there so it fits in there. So that's not bad. Actually looks pretty good. Let's put a cell into it and see if it explodes. And it fits. And there's actually a fair amount of empty space in there. That's not a bad thing, but makes for a good case. Then it has this plastic cover, which I guess only fits one way. Snaps in, and it's a flush fit. That feels very professional. Then I would have a lanyard hole here. Let's see if I can get that through today or not. It's going to let me. Let's see if I can get that through. Yeah, it works. Now let's see this cable. I suspect this cable might not be that good. It's a decent length. There's some overmolding on the ends of the cable. It's quite a bit on the micro USB side. I could trim those off. Alright, that might work. So, let's just try charging it. So what I'm going to do for my charging here is I got, this is a Kyocera charger. Let's see, output 5 volts, 800 milliamps. So this should be more than what this thing's rated at. At least I'm going to guess it doesn't rate the current capability, but I'm going to guess it's probably no more than 500 milliamps, which I mean is good enough for residual charging a device. So I'm going to plug that guy in, and then I also got these beasts. These are probably a little bit excessive, but this is a cool device. I think I bought this for like less than $2. It's just a voltage and current display for USB power devices, and then this one is a bit more expensive. These are like $5 on eBay. This one displays both voltage and current, but it also records the current going through the device so it can give you the capacity of the device that it finally outputs. So let's put this together. I don't know if you can see that that display there showing current, voltage, and power. So obviously no current. So we're going to plug our Mr. Cable in. This is just mine. I'm just going to use this as a... Let's see. Oh, so it might be hard to see, but there's a faint LED in there blinking. I guess it's on. And it shows it's drawing 730 milliamps. So it's probably the maximum capacity of this power supply. or very close to it at least. So this might be a 1 amp power brick. That's more than I expected. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to test the actual capacity of the batteries today. So I have no idea what state they were. These are fresh from the delivery, so I'll have to test their actual capacity later on. But that's good. That's nice to see this delivering that much charge. Of course, my voltage is dropping down to 4.6 volts. That's probably not good. Let's see, this one says 750 milliamps, 4.75 volts. So, alright, let's try the next one. So with this one doing a good, nice charge, let's take a look at the other one. I'll just leave this charging off to the side for now. Now this one here has an extruded aluminum case, square tube, with cutouts, I think, for an LED display, I think, and a button, I'm guessing. The description's not really good on the seller page. So this has a similar kind of arrangement as the plastic one. It's this long spring at one end. This uses a spring on the other side as well. This does have a few extra components on here. This is like jelly bean regular. Geez, I have no idea what these small 3-pin components are. Just probably transistors. It could be diodes as well. And the other side, actually, all you see, it looks like maybe a diode. Yeah, that's a diode, and then an inductor, and that's all you see actually under here. So, I wonder if the actual intelligence chip is underneath the USB connector, or if it's actually small enough to fit amongst these other ones. I can see there's 2 LEDs down here, but that's about it. The soldering job's pretty good on it. No complaints there. So let's try and put this back in here. I think it fits like that. Spring's actually probably a little bit too long for this case. And the button's on the front, so yeah, that's the right orientation. So this one requires a little bit more assembly because I think there's some screws holding this together too. So I think we're going to put the battery in like this. And the case is going to have to squeeze down on the battery. Let's see. And then there's this extra little packet covered in tape. Annoyingly. Very small tape. Yeah. Frustrating. Come on, come on, come on. Yep. This looks like it. Whoops, there's a screw, these very small screws. And I think this is just plastic that's been plated, which is no surprise. Alright, sorry for that distraction. So finally got this unwrapped, and I was just trying to figure out how exactly this went together. Because it looks like this button just kind of, it has 2 pieces. Whoops, don't want to short anything. This button has 2 pieces. Just a little plastic piece here and there. I thought this actually was clear for an LED, status LED, but I guess not. Then it has this faceplate, which I think goes down over the front here. And I think this gets screwed down, which I think holds the one end together. And I don't think there's anything else like that. Yeah, it's just screwed down. It'd be kind of tight. This all together. But that would work. Okay. So I think I actually have to put this button thing in here first, like this. to slide this in to the bottom. Yeah, that'll work. As soon as I get this screwed in here, then I think that won't go anywhere. Yeah, so I got a blue light. Oh, it shines through the plastic. Okay. Oh, it does work. Alright, so now I'm going to connect this over here, like that. Get my fancy screwdriver here. This Leah screwdriver is the best thing ever. Highly recommend it if you can get some. Set's obviously a good thing to have, but if you can just get a couple sizes of the Phillips and the flatheads, they're just practically indestructible. You get to the cheap Chinese precision ones, and they don't harden the tips of the screwdrivers at all. They make it look like they're hardened by not plating the ends, but I mean, that's not actually doing what it needs to do. Alright. Looks like this face plate's a little too flimsy for it. So we're gonna yeah, that might have actually cracked on that one side, so that screw might not actually be doing anything. So unfortunately, this design might not actually be the most robust. I expected to have little screws like this. Okay. Now there's these two face plates. Looks like they're aluminum. Oops, I want to bend them. I think there's a protective sticker in the front. Yeah, there is. So we can try and peel this. There you go. Okay, get off. Thank you. 5-volt in, 5-volt out. Oops. Okay. Yeah, there we are. All right. It's recessed in from the end. Oops. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. And there's the other one on the other side here. Whoops. Stuck it to my thumb. See if we can get this tight down there. Peel off that side. Yeah. Yeah, it looks fairly handsome. It doesn't feel as robust, though, as this. The all plastic fits just so nice on this. I mean, usually I wouldn't expect much from cheap Chinese plastic. You would see some like over mold, and you know the molds, the injection mold starts getting bad, and then the whole plastic piece it generates gets bad. So this has been charging for a while, but it's still doing it. 700 milliamps. Let's see. Oh, the power brick's actually a little bit warm, so it's doing stuff. Good to see. All right, so let's disconnect him. Let's plug in my new one here. So the LED lights up red when it's charging. And it is drawing 460 milliamps. So this is probably, as the label on the bottom says, it's no, it says 800 milliamps actually. Well, I guess it's not going to tell us the truth in that case. Voltage is at least recovering on the power brick, so, but unfortunately it's not drawing its full capacity. Oh well. So let's see how much this actually can deliver. So I'm going to put my power brick over here out of the shot. Whoops. Don't fall. Okay. Let's just use this guy. I'm going to swap this around. So he gives me nothing. Turn him on, and we get 5.13 volts out the power supply. Okay, it's not bad. So as a power source, since I'm using my old Kyocera charger, I figure why not bring out the old Kyocera Echo, which was their smart phone from, man, I don't remember when this came out. 2013 maybe? 2010? This is quite old. I think it was exclusive only to Sprint, and the neat feature of it was this dual screens, which kind of made it pretty neat. So for the time, it was a fairly comparable Android phone to all the other ones, but then it had the dual screen, so you could have a virtual keyboard the full size of the display, and then you could also pop it open and have a full size display for like web viewing and stuff like that. And I think this was one of the first ones with like dual screens, so you could actually have two web browsers open at once, scrolling through them. It only supported on some apps. Android didn't fully support dual screens. Fortunately, the battery life was atrocious, so eventually I gave up on it. Otherwise, though, extremely robust phone. You think a hinge like this would be mechanically weak because it's so complex, but I've dropped it a few times. I'm generally pretty good with my electronics, but whatever they made this out of, it was extremely durable, and all this hinge work and stuff, I mean, never an issue. These things were built like tanks. Fortunately, I think Kyocera probably lost their lunch building this phone. I bet they didn't make much. It feels like an extremely complex device to build. Let's see. Oh, okay. Has to negotiate and power up. So it's drawing 380 milliamps or so. I have no idea what this phone actually would charge. This is probably not a good representation of an actual good dummy source, but I just wanted to make sure it actually does what it says it does. And the LED's lit up a little. Now if I hit that, it turns off. So this does have actually a nice power button to actually turn it on and off discreetly on the device. The more I feel it, the more it feels kind of good because the battery gives it a nice, decent weight. Alright. But yeah, I wonder if that actually turns off on its own. Or do you have to manually turn it off? We'll just let that sit for a while. See if that LED turns off on its own. So, okay, let's take this guy. This guy has a blue LED. I don't know if you can see that. Blue LED when he turns on. And let's see. Hey, the Kyocera is drawing a 830 milliamps out of this guy. So this is a 1 amp capable power brick. Oh, now it's down to 580 milliamps. So, yeah. Give or take. More than 500. I mean, it's could be a limitation of my phone not pulling a full amp out of it. So that's, I mean, not bad. This plastic one is, I think, significantly better. So anyways, the whole point of this exercise was just really to try and build a power bank for a pretty reasonable price, but also maintain some level of safety involved. So by getting the cheap empty case power brick, like I said, these are less than $2 on eBay delivered to your door. I think they actually, for this one, you could find it for less than $1. I think I picked this one specifically because it came with a cable, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways, getting circuit-wise, they seem to be pretty similar. I want to see if this turns off on its own, though, to give a final verdict on it. But than taking these generic power supplies with a very good quality battery that you know is going to have stable chemistry that will, even in bad situations, will react safely. Is, I think, very important. So I think these are a pretty good purchase. I like both of these really. This one might like better, but all in all, pretty good.